You're making me laugh. Is it recording? Right, okay. Enthusiastic. There we go. Well, yeah. I don't know if that's would others agree? That's the question. So yeah, I'm Gordon Hector. I'm Head of Policy and Strategy at Urban Foresight. We're a consultancy based here in Flannel. Our clients tend to be governments of one sort or another, local, national, regional. And generally we're helping them with projects which are about innovation and understanding how to make the most of new technologies. Within that we do a vast range of projects. Some are about economics and growing economies. Big focus on electric vehicles and understanding what places can do to uptake EVs. But a huge range of stuff including health and social care, digital technologies and more. So a pretty broad range. No, so Dundee's been a base for us, and we've done projects in the city for years, but we work on projects around the world. So I think in the past year I've done stuff in Ireland, worked for a project for the IEA, the International Energy Agency, based in Paris, and that was a global survey of EV policy in 50 cities. That was talking to places from Guangzhou to Santiago de Chile. And we do projects around the world. I've had folks doing a project on EVs in Tuvalu this year. So from Tayside to Tuvalu was the phrase, and clients here across the world. So concentrated in Scotland and the north of England, and a lot of work across the UK and Ireland, but we work around the world, which is great place. Yeah. Kind of got a magpie career in public policy, so I've done quite different things. So I started off in PR and comms down south. Then I went to work for a think tank that also ran care homes, sort of social policy research outfit. Then I was a speechwriter in government for a bit. Then I worked for a healthcare startup. We can call it a startup. It was losing money, so I was head of comms for a health company, and then spent 5 years working in the Scottish Parliament, doing a mixture of policy and comms stuff. So for me, Urban Foresight was the chance to draw those things together. So to work on policy, interesting and difficult questions in public policy, but also with the sort of theme of innovation I've done throughout my career. So lots of those organisations were trying to do stuff different, and they either had a different business model or a different technology or something new that was trying to create new ways of working in public services. And a sense of geography, which is a bit of a waffle way to put it, but often I was doing stuff that was quite place specific. It was bespoke to a particular city or to a region or to a government. And what Urban Foresight does is specific to its clients. So for me, it was the chance to work on all those things combined in one role, and to do it from Dundee but work worldwide, which is pretty rare. Yeah, so we had have a long-term partnership with Dundee City Council, where we ran a program where we were effectively tasked with bringing in and understanding new innovations for the city. And there's a whole lot of things around Dundee which you walk around. It's been part of that partnership where we would understand a new technology or new business model. We would bring in the funding externally to make it happen, and then we would experiment with it as it rolled out. So the e-bikes is a good example where we helped scope the project, helped understand how it could work in the city, where the sites could be, and then put together a package within Dundee, kind of brought in partners to put together. So the name of the project was the MIL, so the Mobility Innovation or Integration Living Lab. So a multi-year, multi-million-pound project. And it's really satisfying. For every pound spent on us, we brought in 12 to the city. And that ability to do a project, then bring in new cash as part of the project, is quite a cool way to work and sets us apart from other consultancies, I think. So there's all sorts of things around Dundee where that's been the case. At the moment, we're just coming to the end of a project, working in Dundee and Plymouth, which is looking at new interesting forms of EV charging. So if you go next to the V&A, there's an EV charger that rises out of the ground, and our involvement was to work with the technology provider, to work with the council, to work with the funders to understand how this sort of thing can work and project manage something that's a really new and interesting way to do EV charging, and it's right in the middle of Dundee, which has a fantastic reputation for leadership in EVs. Yeah, it's a really exciting period for us that we've come out of the worst of the pandemic in a really good position, and having protected our work and having grown through the worst of it, and now with an increasing range of clients and ever bigger projects on a grander scale and worldwide. So we're growing quite rapidly. We're taking on new staff and have big plans for recruitment across the rest of the year. And then we were delighted in December, it was confirmed publicly that we've been awarded funding from Scottish Enterprise to support our ambitions to grow. Yeah, so really delighted to have that support confirmed, and a real validation of the business model and what we're trying to do. The idea of a consultancy that advises clients but also helps them bring in money and try new things and act as a kind of innovation agency for places. It's really exciting, and the range of topics on which we're working is growing too. We're increasingly working on health and care, which is really exciting. It's something I did in the past, so it's really cool to be experimenting with new things on that. So it's a great time to be here. We're recruiting quite quickly, so we definitely encourage people to keep an eye on our website. There's all sorts of interesting jobs with all sorts of backgrounds that we're looking for. So yeah, come join us. I've got a wee 2-year-old who's a great wee chappie, so that would have to be my biggest life achievement. Professional achievement, or there was a project last year that was a net zero strategy, one of the bits of the UK government, that was that the client loved, and they took forward and directly shaped one particularly important aspect of climate change policy. And looking at something going, right, I did that, and a thing happened that was different because of it. That's very satisfying. Maybe that there doesn't have to be a plan, that could have wound up with something that didn't have any particular plan to kind of get me here, but it's all kind of worked out, and like I say, it kind of pulls together things I've worked on, and that's by having had a strategic sense from the start where my career is. So if I could have gone back and said, it'll all come out in the wash, it'll all be fine, then I would have had a slightly more relaxing time in my 20s maybe. My advice would be to write. It's often a really good way of understanding what you think about a topic, and for someone starting out, it can be a really good way of getting known and associated with the topic, and shows interest. So write, that would be my advice. At various points, I wanted to be a train driver when I was wee. I wanted to be a fireman. I was a fireman in a nativity play, so that inspired an interest. It's an important role in the Christmas story, is the fire safety procedures. When I was slightly older, I wanted to be an architect, and then a journalist, so I've ended up being a sort of combination of all of these things, yeah.
Taking the